We'll go with Capcom COO says games should cost more.
No.
Games should cost. We mean no.
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 It's already like too much. It's like doubled in the last couple of years, man.
It's like doubled.
That was gotten bad. It used to be like $30-$40. Now it's like 70-80.
What do you mean it used to be 30? It's no.
No, it's always been 60.
No. It's always been 60.
No.
Yeah. It's 60 forever. Just because you didn't buy the higher games doesn't mean that they didn't. Okay.
Fair enough.
So, okay, he says game prices are too low, says the Capcom CEO. Development costs are around 100 times higher than they were in the days of the Famicom, but the price of software hasn't risen so much, says Aru Tsumoto. I don't know, best I got. So he's basically already saying that the cost of games are so much higher, but the price of software hasn't risen that much.
So they're just demanding more because they can.
What? No, that doesn't.
Their prices. It's not like it's partial. They don't even have to send out the discs and the cases and.
You just stop talking like that. They wouldn't do that to us.
Yeah, it's not like they do any of that anymore. It's all digital, and it's just wow. It's like they're taking up a lot of the publishing and distributing problems, huh?
They don't even have to market it anymore. We just have the trailers, but they just have Steam and such do that for them.
Well, the games industry is slowly but surely shifting to premium AAA releases that are always so goddamn buggy. You might as well wait 6 months to a year when you'll probably get it for less than half price and save you a lot of headache. Now costing $70 instead of the $60 that have been the industry-wide standard for so long. With the likes of EA, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Activision, and Take-Two Interactive having adopted the new pricing model. And though Capcom has yet to shift that new pricing model, it seems it won't be long before that changes. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised that they're going to do $70 games. Shocking.
If they can, why wouldn't they?
As reported by Nikki, in a recent interview at the Tokyo Game Show, Capcom's chief operating officer just touched on the topic of game prices, saying they personally feels they are too low. And they haven't increased to a degree that would reflect how much costlier game development has become. Personally, I feel that the game prices are too low. Development costs are around 100 times higher than they were in the days of the Famicom, but the price of software hasn't risen so much. Oh, okay. Let's keep that. Okay. There's also a need to raise wages in order to attract talented people. Given that wages are rising across the industry as a whole, I think the option of raising unit prices is a healthy form of business. Sure, right? Let's just keep raising the prices of games in one of the worst times in the economy. Should be great idea. And how much is a good price? Is 79 enough? What, 80, 90, 100? Is 100 the price now? Because I'm not buying a $100 game.
Yeah, no. Barely buy a 70.
I'm not buying a $70 game. I don't care.
Especially when we just named all these AAA companies, and what happens all the time? So many freaking bugs, glitches, and garbage that if they actually had to make a CD or a cartridge and put it out, those bugs and shit would not exist.
Oh, absolutely not. First, as soon as someone gets onto that game and it shows what's up with it, it's all off shelves. No one's touching it.
Of course, while it's inarguably true that development costs have increased drastically over the years and are likely to keep on increasing, it's also worth keeping in mind that by and large, the revenue for major AAA companies has also increased significantly.
Ugh.
The games industry's audience has grown by quite some margin as well, and companies are pulling in money not just from initial game sales, not going to this, but also expansions and DLC and microtransactions and merchandising and cross-media projects, among other things that they make money on the same game. Earlier this year, for instance, in the wake of Resident Evil 4's launch, Capcom's share price climbed to an all-time high as well. So things like Capcom is one of the few AAA that haven't started selling their games at $70 price. I know they will. Let's get over that. Now, here's what we need to go. So let's go with, so what is the net income that's generated by Capcom in fiscal years from 01 to 22? Okay, so in 01, they made about 4 billion yen. So 5 billion yen. So like what in American money, that's like $2. Okay, so I don't know what that. Yeah, it's like I said, I don't know what that price is, but that won't matter. Okay, so they took significant hits in 02 and 03. But look at this. So this is from 01. Now let's look at 22. The pricing has increased by 7 times. They have gone 7 times their revenue in that same exact stretch.
240 million.
Since 2019, they've more than doubled their net income. Yeah, this is net income. This isn't just like gross revenue. Net income. It is more than doubled since 2019. This is 22. We're not even talking this year. So it's almost like their games are making a hell of a lot more money for not as much game output, so to speak, in comparison. Because see, back here, there wasn't like online things, there wasn't DLCs, there wasn't anything like that. If you want to do an expansion, you actually had to make it something and put it out as a CD. So, but again, I guess this is probably just one company. This has to be only one company. That's the only thing, right? So let's try something. Oh wait, net revenue generated by Activision Blizzard from 05 to 22. From 05, this is actually in millions. So they made 780 million in 05. Now, mind you, this is when World of Warcraft was really starting to pop off. To today, where they make $7.5 billion. Huh. Wow, they made 10 times the amount as well. In the same time. Wow. It's like they're just not making enough money for that asking price. That's crazy. Although this is the same company that gets outstandingly record-breaking profits and then lays off 200 or 300 people. No big deal. Okay, that's this too. Let's go with another. How about Nintendo? Nintendo has to show something different, right? Well, from 08 to 23, they're probably the only ones that could say that it's been about the same. They've had the downturn. Yeah. This is the rough areas. These years, ooh, they were struggling.
Is that Paper Mario years?
So, and then all of a sudden it regained, absolutely regained itself.
Zelda.
So I think this would be the only one that could actually make something of where they're making roughly the same. Microsoft?
Yeah. Is that on there? Or Sony? Preferably Sony.
Preferably Sony.
I mean, you're kind of like a gaming company mostly. Compared to like Microsoft.
Yeah, but the only thing about that is like PlayStation just takes things back. Here we go. But I couldn't just pull up Sony because they do so many other things as well.
That's what I thought about Microsoft as well.
Yeah, I'd have to pull up the Xbox thing if they have it here. Let's see. R&D expenses, sales and Sony worldwide by business segments.
I'd say as soon as one person's gonna raise the price, all of them's gonna raise the price.
Sony game and network services, net sales and operating income. I can probably look at that. So let's see. Net sales and operating income of Sony's game and network services from 2012 to 2022. Same thing, just astounding growth. And this is from only 2012 to 2022. So I'm not. You're okay, Bob. I was going to complain about stream being late, but there was. Oh god. Okay. Jeez. All right, Bob. So yes, with it's just like another. It's like all these game companies are getting 7 to 10x times what they were making from 10 to 12 years ago. Sometimes 15, sometimes closer to 20. But at the same time, it's 7 to 10 times more what they were making back then.
Yep.
Now, mind you, back in the 80s and 90s, $50 and $60 for a game was a hell of a lot. hell of a lot. And nowadays we could easily double that if we want to even get up close to that. So what? Do they want to charge $120, $130 for a game? Is that what they're going to try doing? One of the reasons why gaming is so popular is that it's also cheaper. I don't think do they not understand that? It is almost literally cheaper to go buy a game that you can play 4 players for a family than it is to go get a freaking movie.
Yeah.
I mean, literally think about it. It is cheaper to go buy a $60 game like Mario Party, right?
Oh yeah.
And play at home than to go to a movie once for that same family.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why gaming has exploded and is like is the number one entertainment in the world. But now you want to start racking up the prices? That will never go well because there's so many other options that aren't those prices. And trust me, when it comes to AAA games, I haven't seen anything lately that's been worth a shit on launch. So
yeah,
you can always wait for it to go down. So I just don't understand what his yeah, okay, so games have gotten more expensive, but why have they gotten more expensive?
No clue.
Yeah, no clue, especially when you start getting some of these games that have really, when you break it down, have no really soul or substance to them.
No effort most of the time.
In comparison to indie games, which are made on a much lower budget, and they have so much character, so much soul and life put into them, compared to most of these AAA games. I think there might be a problem there. Now, Capcom, I could probably, like, they have the games that's like up and down. Yeah, they have some good ones, they have some bad ones, yada, yada, yada. But, I think they'd be the only one I could probably say that for the most part, when they have a game come out, it's, genuinely good on release. Because I mean, Street Fighter 6, I didn't hear anything bad. I've heard that Mortal Kombat 1, the player 1 has a game advantage in some matchups. That's great.
For real?
For real, yeah.
How? Is it because they started a little sooner?
No, it was something between the two characters. So yeah, Ronald Snow here. We only played a few games growing up because games were so expensive back then. Yeah, fast forward to 2000, we bought maybe twice as many. Exactly. So, but now you want to like I said, I just don't understand this reasoning here. It's like he's almost trying to put it out there to set us up so that if they start going crazy high, it's like, it should be expected. No. See, here's the thing. Yeah, we buy the base game, but then you subject it to so many things within that game nowadays that, yes, the cost actually goes up over time. So it's not like most companies don't just put the game out there. There's always extra DLCs you have to buy. There's all these other microtransactions always associated with it. And also, of course, like the merchandising. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. If you go on Hot Toys, oh Jesus. I mean, if you want to pay big bank for not a kid's toy. But just like the DLC and microtransactions are always off the scale. Like, it's just like Diablo 4 came out with it, and there's like a $25 stupid skin that's absolute garbage.
It's forcing you to go to the transaction stores too. Yeah.
Do what?
It like forces you to in D4.
Yeah. It forces you to the
like you push escape and like your first thing's microtransaction.
You have to go over it constantly.
Right. They had dark patterns in their stuff. We know this another one. Yeah, they had dark pattern bullshit. Which I'm like, I just don't understand how a game company that's AAA like that and they actually want to keep doing these tactics is absolute garbage. That's unbecoming. Like, there's no reason for that. But to say that they've gone, maybe they've gone up by, I'm guessing 100 times is way too much. There's no way it's gone up 100 times. And if it has, I think, for instance, that when more and more AI comes in there, those costs are going to go down.
They're going to go down dramatically.
And these indie companies that used to only make certain things, well, with AI and stuff like that, all of a sudden the indie games are going to go up in quality.
Oh, how crazy.
So we're going to have this nice little compression effect.
It'll be fun.
It's a good thing. It's definitely going to be a good thing. So you want to raise your prices? Be my guest. But unless they're freaking out of the just crazy good, people are just gonna wait till they go and sell.
I feel like they're gonna corporatize themselves out. You know, they're just gonna make it so super corporate that it's no longer anyone wants to touch it.
Here's the best thing I could say. How about, when was the last time there was a AAA game that you were either excited about or have really played or was actually good on launch?
Oof. Okay.
BO2.
BO2?
Yeah. That was back in like 2011, 12. Like,
okay, so Black Ops 2. Okay.
that's mostly for the zombies. That's about it.
Right. That was over 10 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, Advanced Warfare.
Coming
I
up
mean,
with
that was only
nothing.
pretty cool. But it's all CDs though.
There hasn't been a game in the past
Digital wise, there's
lots of years that I haven't cared
Just
about.
anything at all? Anything AAA? I can't think of one.
There's none.
There hasn't been one where I'm like, man, I really got, like, I got to
That
get this game.
game-
I have to play it at launch.
That game looks
I haven't
so
played a CD
solid.
game really at launch.
That was a AAA game. Now, mind you, that was a AAA game.
There's some that
Ratchet
have
and Clank Clowns, they AAA
Yeah,
game.
made by
Sony. That's
Yeah, I know.
Bethesda. Isn't it Bethesda?
what? No, it's a subsidiary of Sony.
Not bad.
One of their studios. God, wow, I can't even think of who they are. This is crazy. Which Ratchet and Clank?
PS2 one.
The PS2.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
By far the best one.
Okay, at least it's something. At least you got, okay, you got something. You got something.
It's
here.
like
Okay.
the only one I can really think of. Like,
But that's what I'm getting at, is that you can't even think of one.
Nope.
Of a AAA title, because there's been absolutely nothing. I can tell you a lot of indie games. I'm like, man, I kind of want to play this. More excited for it. I can just like go on down a list of those, but when it comes to AAA titles from big companies, I've got nothing. There's not one I'm like, there's not one that I've had to go get because I'm like, I want to get this. Like, yeah, Street Fighter 6 came out, I'd be like, yeah, I'll play it at some point.
Yeah.
MK1 doesn't even interest me.
oh yeah, no.
What's another one? I mean, Starfield, I kind of was like, watched a little bit of that and went, I didn't miss nothing.
I didn't even look at it, man.
Lies of P would probably be one. I've been wanting to really play that.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember hearing something of it, but I never really checked it out otherwise.
Maybe CS2. CS2 probably the other one.
Yeah.
What about Zelda?
That would, yeah, I guess that.
Okay, yeah, okay. So, okay. I would say
If we're
probably
talking about
Nintendo games.
if we're going
say
on
there was
Nintendo,
Zelda
I would play every
Nintendo
single
games.
one. I was excited I would love to have played every one of those if I had the chance to play
Exactly,
any of the Nintendo ones.
Okay, yeah, all the Nintendo ones I can think of, like the Mario ones, I definitely wanted to play those, like Super Odyssey.
Ever.
That was one I wanted to play.
Breath of the Wild. I saw. I really wanted.
So yeah, so this is kind of what I'm getting at. So we go through all these other companies, right? And it just goes back to Nintendo is probably the only one that has a consistent, man, this actually seems like it's gonna be good. Like, okay, yeah, like the Super Mario RPG. It's not what I'm saying I'm going to have, but more than likely I'm going to play it at some point.
Dude, that sounds amazing.
It's on the list.
High rank too.
They got some Lara Croft ones coming out next year. That's another good one. Also Nintendo. And they got Sonic Mania. That's coming out in a couple of weeks. They got something else coming out in November too, but I've already lost track of what it was because I was thinking about Super Mario RPG. But there's another one game that comes out at the same time in November. So that's what I'm getting at. So Nintendo is like the only one that you're like actually interested in games of some sort somehow. The rest, you can't even name anything. There's like nothing. Maybe the Spider-Mans from Sony, but they're so few and far between from companies that have so many resources yet just don't do anything. They don't take much risk. They always do the same thing. It's all safe. When you get the same games that are all safe, nothing happens, and they're forgettable.
Oh, Wario's getting a game?
What?
For the November is a Wario War movie.
Oh, okay. Okay, there you go.